Have you ever wondered how many students in your class like math, science, or both? Or how many people watched two or three different shows at the same time? Today, we're going to unlock the secret behind solving those kinds of problems using sets. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to solve word problems involving two and three sets using correct set representations and operations. Our goal today is simple and clear, in which I can explain how word problems involving two and three sets are solved by identifying the given sets and their relationships among them. And here's a step-by-step strategy in solving word problems on sets. Now, every word problem involving sets follows the same logic, and remember these four steps. First, identify the sets. Now, what groups are being mentioned? 2. List the given information. Write down all the numbers, and if you want to add colors or highlights for you to be organized, sure, that's totally fine. Third one, draw or imagine the Venn diagram. Now, 2 circles or 3 circles. The last one, apply set operations. Use union, intersection, and complements if needed to answer the questions. Now, once you master these steps, no set problem will scare you again. Let's start with this first problem. In a class of 30 students, 18 like apples, 12 like oranges, and 6 like both apples and oranges. So before we go over with the fourth set of questions here, let us draw them accordingly. So let's have pink for apples and green for oranges. And remember that when we talk about the totality or the universal set, we have here 30 students, we're going to draw a rectangle. So let's have it this way. Okay, so this is our universal set. So again, there are 30 students in all. 30 students. Now let's draw the apples. So I have here the apples. Okay, the apples. And the oranges. Now, for us to be guided on what to write here and here, we go over first with the common elements or the intersection of both. So this one. So our first guide would be here, the 6 like both apples and oranges. So that means 6 would be here. Now remember that how many apples are there? There are 18 apples. And for oranges, there are 12. So all you need to do with the guide of the intersection is that you just need to subtract the 18 apples minus the 6 for both apples and oranges. And same thing with the oranges minus the intersection. So 18 minus 6, we got 12. And for this area for the oranges, we got 12 minus 6, we got 6. Now look carefully. Again, this is for all apples, right? So 12 plus 6 is 18. So that's why you get that. On the other hand, we have here for the oranges, we got total of 12 oranges, or 12 people who like oranges. So 6 plus 6, so we got 12. And I hope that's clear. Now, if you try to add the 3 of them, we get to have 12 plus 6 plus 6. Now the answer is 24, which means the total of the union of both sets is 24. So that means there are 24 students who like apples, oranges, whether it's an individual thing or a commonality of both numbers or elements. But remember that there are 30 students, which means 30 minus 24. Again, remember that these 24 students like fruits. That means 30 minus 24 is 6. That means there are 6 students who who don't like any of the fruits mentioned. So that means that would stay outside as our complement. Now let's go over to the questions. How many like only apples? So we have it here. Only like apples. So 12. There are 12 students for this one. Now this time, how many like only oranges? So we got to have 6. 6 students. And this time we have this question, how many like at least one of the 2 fruits? So imagine here, you get to have at least 1 from apples, 1 from both, and 1 from oranges. So that means we're talking about the union here, or every element that is being combined or counted all together. So again, there are 24 students who like fruits. So that means the answer for this question on how many students like at least one of the 2 fruits is 24. And here, how many students like neither? So again, for neither, it is the complement. So if you get to have a question at least one, it is the union. And opposite or in contrast of it is the neither, which is the complement. So we have it here, the 6. That's these are our answers for this given type of problem. For the next problem, try to pause the video and try to solve the next problem or problems on your own before proceeding. In the next problem, we got in a group of 40 students, 22 like basketball, 15 like volleyball, and 8 like both sports. And here are the following questions. But before we go over to the questions, let us try to illustrate using a Venn diagram. Okay, so we got a universal set containing 40 elements or 40 students. Now let's label basketball as set B and volleyball as set V. Okay, just to make it easy. Okay, let's have here. Okay, basketball and volleyball. Again, you go over first to the intersection. So based on this, the intersection or the number of elements in the intersection area is 8. So we got here 8. Now, there are 22 basketball. Again, all you need to do is the total of the basketball, which is 22 minus the intersection. So 22 minus 8 is 14. Same thing with volleyball. There are 15 volleyball students who like volleyball. So 15 minus 8 is 7. Okay, and that's it. So for now, let us try to add 14, 8, and 7. So based on this, 14 plus 8 is 22 plus 7. So 22. 14 plus 8 plus 7, the answer is 29. So these are all the students who have interest in sports in general. So since there are 29 who like sports or love sports, and the total number of students, what's this? Students, okay, is 40. So 40 minus 29, so the answer is 11. So there are 11 who are not interested to sport. Okay, so that would be our complement. So based here on the questions, okay, how many like only basketball? So that means it's just limited to basketball alone. So the answer is 14. For volleyball, we got 7. And how many like both? The good thing for this, the intersection is already given, so you get to have 8. And how many like neither sport? So our complement is 11. That's it for this problem. Now let's have the last problem involving 2 sets. Our problem here says out of 50 students, 28 use Facebook, 25 use Instagram, and 10 use both platforms. So let's illustrate the sets first. Okay. Okay, so there are 50 students. Okay. So have here 20 for Facebook, 28 for Facebook, and 25 for Instagram. Okay, so let's have Facebook as set F and Instagram for set I. Set F and set I. Okay, so again, go over to the intersection. So that means 10 should be at the center. Okay, and we have here 28 for Facebook minus 10. So we get to have 18. And for Instagram, we could have 25. So 25 minus 10 is 15. So with this, let's try to add 18 plus 10 plus 15. So based on this, you get 18 plus 10 is 28 plus 15 is 43. So let's remember this. Okay, so this is the totality of students who use both platforms. Now, there are 50 students in total, but subtracting it with 43, that means there are 7 students who don't use any of the platforms mentioned. Okay, so 7 goes outside. Now, based on the question, how many use Facebook only? So, of course, Facebook only, we get to have 18. For Instagram only, we get to have 15. And how many use at least one of the 2 platforms? Okay, so we get to have, again, the total for those students who use both platforms, you get to have 43. And how many use neither platforms? So we have here 7. Now, I know it's not here in the question, but what if you are asked something like this? I'm gonna add E. So, how many students only use one platform? So based on this question, it's not at least, let me see here, it's not using at least one of the 2 platforms. It just talks about how many students only use one. So based on this, we get to have the 18 and 15 added together. So of course, there are 18 students who use Facebook alone, and also 15 students who use Instagram alone. So based on the question, how many students only use one platform? That means you add the 18 and 15 together, in which the answer is 33. Now let's have our first problem involving 3 sets. So this is our problem given. In a group of 50 students, 20 like pop, 18 like rock, and 15 like K-pop. Now, 8 like pop and rock, 6 like pop and K-pop, 5 like rock and K-pop, and 3 like all three. So let's just write here. So I'm gonna have pop for P, R for R, K-pop for K. So pop, rock, and K-pop. So we have 20, 18, and 15. Next, let's have 2. So P and R, we have 8. P and K, which is 6. And then R and K is 5. And for all three, so we have 3. So based on this, we can now make a Venn diagram. And again, based on the problem, there are a total of 50 students. Okay. So this is how our Venn diagram would look like. Okay, so let's label first. This would be our pop here, our rock, and our K-pop. So again, you go over first to the intersection of all three, which is 3. So write 3 in the middle. 3. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Now, let's have P and R. So we have here 8. So before you write 8 here, subtract 8 with 3. So that means 8 minus 3 is 5. Okay, so remember, if you get to have if you get to have only the P and R like this, diba, that is 8. So all you need to do is to take note of the given and subtract it using the the intersection of the 3. Now next, let's have PK. So here, the PK, this is the area. So for PK, it's 6. But again, we should not write 6, but instead 6 should be subtracted by 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3. Next, last one is R and K, which is 5. So instead of writing 5, we need to subtract it by 3. So 5 minus 3 is 2. So now we are done with intersection of the 3, which is 3. Intersection of both P and R, which is 8. But again, it should be 5 and 3 because we take account of the all 3. For PK, which is 6. But again, consider the intersection of all 3. Last one, RK, which is 5. And again, take consideration of the middle part of all. Now, let's have here for pop alone. For pop is 20. Now, subtract 20 with 5, with 3, and 3. Now, why is it? Because as you can see here, diba, the 3, the 5, 3, and 3 is part of this circle. So subtract it by 5, 3, and 3. So minus, okay, so minus 5 minus 3, minus 3 minus 3. Now, so for pop, we get to have 20 minus 5 is 15. 15 minus 3 is 12. And 12 minus 3 is 9. So that means for pop alone, or limited to pop alone, is 9. Now we are done with pop here in the circle. Now let's go over with rock. So the total number of rock for rock is 18. So 18 minus, again, remember this circle for rock, it involves everything here. So that means it also take account of the 5, 3, and 2. So 18 minus 5 minus 3 minus 2. So based on this, 18 minus 5 is 13. 13 minus 3 is 10. And 10 minus 2 is 8. Okay, so for rock alone, we get to have 8. Now, last one, still the same thing. For K-pop, this involves everything in this circle. So that means for K-pop, how many K-pop are there? 15. So 15. So 15, still again subtract the 3, 3, and 2. So 15 minus 3 minus 3 minus 2. So 15 minus 3 is 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. And 9 minus 2 is 7. So only for K-pop is 7. So here. Now, let us check based on all the numbers here, if assuming we're gonna have a union of all the 3. Okay, let us try to add all of them and see for ourselves if there is a complement based on this. So all we need to do is to add each of them. So we get to have here in this circle. Okay, so you get to have 9 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3. Now that, as you can see here, now that 5, 3, and 3 are already part of the operation, you go on to the next numbers which are not already written. So let's go over here. So you have 8 and 2. So plus 8 plus 2. And the last one, okay, that wasn't included earlier. Oops. Is 7. So plus 7. So again, our goal here is to find out if all 50 students take part of liking any of the music genre above. So let's just add all of them. So you get to have 9 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 8 plus 2 plus 7. So we get to have 37. So to find our complement, so we just need to subtract the total or the universal set or the total number of students all in all, whether they like it or not. So 50 minus 37. So the result is 13. So 13 is our complement. So we have 13 here. Now, we are done with identifying each number for each set and certain parts. So let's try to answer the questions above. Now here, how many like exactly one genre? So for liking exact genre, so we have 9 only for K-pop, only for rock, and only for K-pop. So again, who like exactly one. It's different from at least It's different from this one, at least one. So we just need to add all the exact limited or single genre liked by a person. So we get to have 9 here. The 9 plus 8 plus 7. So 9 plus 8 plus 7 is 24. Now, if we get to add the 9, 8, and 7 for exactly 1, this time let's add for the second question, how many like exactly 2? So for exactly 2, we get to have here the 5, 3, and 2. Because again, these are the numbers or sets in which there are people who like, for example here, both limited to pop and rock, or pop and K-pop, or rock and K-pop. So you just need to add them. So here you get to have, so for exactly 2, so you get to have 5 plus 2 plus 3. So based on this, the answer for this is 10. Now, it says here how many like all 3 genres. So based on the given, so it's just easy. The answer is 3. Okay, all 3. Now, how many like at least 1? So remember, when we talk about at least 1, this is about the union of sets. So when we add all of the numbers here, the 9, 5, 3, 3, 2, 8, and 7, the answer is 37. And of course, how many like none of the genres? So we're talking about the complement, so that means it's 13. And how many like only pop? So based on this, pop is the only thing being asked. The answer is 9. Now let's have our last problem involving 3 sets. In a class of 70 students, 30 play Mobile Legends, 28 play Call of Duty or COD, and 25 play PUBG. I'm just gonna read it as PUBG. Anyway, now in combination of both ML and COD is 10. So we have it here, 10. For ML and PUBG together is 9. And 8 plays COD and PUBG. And the most important thing is the intersection of all 3, in which there are 5 students who play all 3 games. This time, before we answer all of these questions, let us draw the Venn diagram first. Okay, so there are 70 students. We have here for ML, COD, and PUBG. Wait, or is it too big? Here. Okay, so first again, alright, let's label first ML, COD, and PUBG. Okay, so first we have here the intersection of all 3, so the middle part should be 5. Now, next, let's have the combination of ML and COD limited to this area. So we have, based on the given, we have 10. So instead of writing 10, we need to subtract 10 with 5. So 10 minus 5 is 5. Next, let's have this part, ML and PUBG. So ML and PUBG is 9. So 9 instead of writing 9 here, subtract it with 5. So 9 minus 5 is 4. Next, for COD and PUBG, this area, so we are given 8. But instead of writing 8, subtract it with 5. So 8 minus 5 is 3. Yeah, that's it. Now, let's try to find this area limited to ML users only. So let's write here ML. So total of 30 players minus, again, what you need to subtract here are all the numbers found in the circle of ML. So we have it here. So you have the numbers 5, 5, and 4. Okay, so 5, 5, and 4. So minus 5, minus 5, minus 4. So 30 minus 5 is 25. Minus 5 is 20, and minus 4 is 16. So limited to ML alone, or exactly for ML, is 16. Let's have COD. COD, we have 28. So again, you subtract it, limited to the circle of COD only, which are the numbers 5, 5, and 3. So 5 minus 5 minus 3. So 28 minus 5 is 23, minus 5 is 18, and minus 3 is 15. So last one, 15. So last one, we have PUBG. Where am I? PUBG 25. So here 25 minus. So here, every number that we could see in this circle. So we have minus 5, minus 4, minus 3. So 25 minus 5 is 20, minus 4 is 16, minus 3 is 13. So for PUBG alone is 13. This time, let us add all of the number of elements, or the union of the 3, to see if we have a complement based on the total number of 70 students. So let's just add first here all the numbers for ML. So we have 16 plus 5 plus 5 plus 4. Next, let's add the other group. We have here that the numbers that are not touched yet for COD. So we have 15 and 3, and the remaining side, of course, we have 13 plus 13. So we just review 16, 5, 5, 4, 15, 3, and 13. Alright. Okay, so based on this, we can now add all of them. So 16 plus 5 is 21, plus 5 is 26, plus 4 is 30, plus 15, 45, plus 3 is 48, plus 13 is 61. So the total number of students who play games or online games is 61. Now, obviously there are 70 students, so to find the complement, we just need to subtract the total minus the total of the union, which is 61. So 70 minus 61 is 9. So there are 9 students who don't play any of the gaming platforms. For we have ML, COD, and PUBG. So let's answer these questions now. So how many play exactly one game? So exactly one game, we have 16, 15, and 13. So all we need to do is to add them. So 16 plus 15 plus 13 is 44. So there are exactly 44 people who play exactly to only one game. Next, how many play exactly 2? So it focuses on this 5, 4, and 3. So 5 plus 4 plus 3 is 12. And how many play all 3 games? So obviously it is given, so we get to have 5. And of course, again, we are asked on how many play at least once. So it is the union. So as we added earlier, the answer is 61. And of course, how many play none of the games, the complement, which is 9. And last one, being asked how many play only Mobile Legends, of course, limited to ML only is 16. So these are the answers to all the questions based on this problem. Notice how the same strategy works in all these problems. What changes is only the number of sets and the type of question. When you understand exactly 1, exactly 2, at least 1, and none, you gain full control over set problems.